Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Poor Man's Chemist. In this video, I am going to be making arsenic tribromide from arsenic trioxide, elemental sulfur, and elemental bromine. This prep comes from Inorganic Laboratory Preparations. The page is on the screen there. I can't remember it off the top of my head. And this reaction is supposed to be very simple and straightforward, but it's supposed to take 7 hours. The last couple times I've tried to do this fucker, I have been rained out. And let me tell you, man, it is a real bitch trying to get all your shit inside when rain's coming down and it's full of fucking death shit. That's a real pain in the ass. So there might be a little bit of echo because I'm doing this bitch under the carport. This reaction is supposed to take 7 hours. I know for a fact it ain't gonna rain on me under here, and I don't have to worry about the shed getting filled up with death vapor and me breathing arsenic and ending up in the hospital. That'd suck. So anyway, we have 2 grams of arsenic trioxide and 0.457 grams of sulfur here. Really, it's about 0.46. We need to add 4.86 grams of elemental bromine to this. I am not going to try to film that part because weighing out bromine is a bitch at the best of times, and it's windy out here, so getting anything approaching accurate is going to be an incredible pain in the ass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the bromine to this bitch, and then I will come back once it's added and we will get this puppy started. Okay, kiddies, so I just learned something new. We have mineral oil here in our crystallizing dish, which, by the way, thank you guys for the donation so I could get a new crystallizing dish. I never knew how much I needed one of these things until I fucking got one and then didn't have one anymore. Motherfucking thing's so goddamn useful. But anywho, so check this out, right? I got a little bit of bromine here in the mineral oil, and what it does is it just sinks to the bottom and forms this almost like gunk. I could suck it up with a pipette, and the bromine sits underneath the mineral oil, and it just sticks to whatever. The mineral oil prevents it from evaporating. So man, if you mix bromine up with mineral oil, not only will it not evaporate off, but if you were to get that shit on you, man, even aqueous sodium thiosulfate wouldn't work because of the mineral oil. It'd have to be soapy aqueous sodium thiosulfate. And even then, you know what it's like trying to wash mineral oil off. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Damn, that would be like napalm without the flames. Holy shit. Well, we discovered one chemical weapon here by accident already. Let's go for number 2. Okay, so the textbook is not as clear here, and this is the thing that's really giving me so many fits with this prep is how hot do you heat it to? Because, okay, well, we know already that the sulfur should react with the bromine and form disulfur dibromide. We use this same reaction in order to make hydrobromic acid. I assume that is what's actually doing the reaction here. We heat up the mineral oil, heats this shit up. The sulfur removes the oxygen from the arsenic, is given off as sulfur trioxide, which will come up through this 400 millimeter column, out this hose here where a fan can blow it away. And the textbook says to use an air-cooled column. I'm going with the Vigru. I have some reservations, but it's the only air-cooled one that I've got. Everything else is done with liquid, and arsenic tribromide melts at about 30, it's about 88 Fahrenheit. It's on the screen. I can't remember exactly what it is in Celsius. It's like 33 and change. So my biggest concern would be it solidifying up here. Here, we can hit it with the heat gun real quick, and, you know, with the Vigru, air can get down in there. It should make it really easy to deal with any kind of blockage. I've already scaled this prep back like, shit, this is like just under a third of the normal scale, so I've tried to keep this as tame as possible. But yes, how hot to heat it? The textbook gives a prep for arsenic triiodide, doing all of this rigmarole, which I know, right? We made arsenic triiodide. It did not require all of this bullshit. It says to heat it like 142 C, but I don't think we need to heat this that hot. I really don't want to because that's like more than halfway to the fucking boiling point of this crap, and I really don't want to breathe it. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, theoretically, most of it would condense in the column, but who knows? Who knows, man? I can't find much more information about this, and of course, nobody else with me is crazy enough to try to make this shit, so I don't know. As usual, we blaze trails on this fucking channel. Oh well, here we go. On to victory or death or hospitalization, whichever comes first. All right, so it is the next day. I let this fucker run for 6 hours yesterday, and it did indeed produce our product. As you've just seen, I was able to purify it some here and get it to melt and evaporate up this tube. I also just caught a nice whiff of it. It smells horrible. I'm not even sure how that really happened, but that was highly concerning. Anywho, yeah, it smelled absolutely terrible. I immediately removed myself from that, and it was just enough just to smell it, but man, it was kind of gross. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Anywho, so here we go. This is our stuff. I have been working at subliming it up the tube here for a while now. I think this is the best we're going to be able to get. I'm not even 100% sure how I'm going to destroy this stuff. It's impossible to get it out of the apparatus. When I had to take the top off of it yesterday and remove the hose off of this, which it completely destroyed that rubber hose, by the way, it started giving off copious amounts of white fumes. And the humidity out here is ridiculous. It's supposed to rain again, of course. So, yeah. Anyway, but there is our stuff. The literature says it's supposed to be colorless to a yellow compound. That's yellow. I think there is still some unreacted bromine in there. But, I mean, given the properties of this stuff and the setup that I've got here, this is just the best that I'm going to be able to do. The only thing that I could really think would be to purify it by distillation, which you could do. You would have to do it at like a temperature, you'd have to get it above like 230 C, and you'd have to be able to keep it that high until it got over, into the condenser. And then you'd have to keep the temperature of the coolant in the condenser above 31.5 degrees C in order to keep it liquid. But you could do that. It might do better under reduced pressure. I don't know. I mean, in my backyard, unfortunately, this is the best that I can accomplish. However, we did prove that the prep does work. This is a viable method. It did indeed produce arsenic tribromide. So we were successful. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even sure this was really going to work. Then I wasn't really sure I was going to be able to get it to, even once I was sure the reaction was working, I wasn't sure that I was, going to be able to get it to work, just given the temperature constraints and the properties of bromine and its boiling point and the amount of time that it took. But clearly, we have been able to get this to work. And one thing too, when I was doing the prep, it kind of segregated itself up here anyway, just by subliming and evaporating up. And I used an IR thermometer to check the temperature of like the neck of the flask down here and the lower part of the column. And I looked to see, and where it started condensing out was where the temperature of the glass went below 31 degrees C. So this is it, man. I mean, that is as conclusive as we can get it, but it worked. This makes, I mean, again, it can be used to make arsenic triiodide. I imagine, at least, I can't find anything that says that this would work with antimony, but I think it will. Antimony tribromide is a lot less evil than arsenic tribromide. Don't get me wrong, it's still fairly evil. Many of you that have been, like, if you're hardcore fans of the channel, you may remember a long time ago, I did an experiment where I tried to make a hexabromoantimonate, and it failed. And I tried to do it by going by way of antimony tribromide. And it was a lot like this, to be honest with you. It is some wickedly evil stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I am tempted to try, like, antimony 5-chloride, or even antimony trichloride. I mean, fuck, man. If alchemists could pull it off hundreds of years ago, surely we can do it, right? How hard can it fucking be? Yeah, it's called butter of antimony. That is the old name for it. Pretty cool, right? Anywho, I don't know what we would call this. Bromo butter of arsenic? Lung butter of arsenic? Anyway, I don't know. Put your creative names in the comments. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, well, whatever. Subscribe, comment, share the video, donate a few bucks if you like seeing weird exotic compounds that everybody else has the good sense not to try to make. You'll only see this kind of batshit crazy stuff on this channel. And until the next one, y'all, I will see you later.